Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss about anatomy of pharynx. Pharynx will be discussed in two video lectures, and in this video lecture, that is part 1 of anatomy of pharynx, we are going to discuss very briefly about the situation, dimensions, boundaries, parts of pharynx, and apart with it, what is Waldeur's lymphatic ring and palatine tonsils in detail. So let's start with it. Now, what is pharynx? Pharynx is a wide muscular tube which is situated behind the nose, the oral cavity or mouth, and the larynx. This is larynx, and this hole is the pharynx. Okay, so as we move further in this video lecture, I will discuss the parts of the pharynx, that is nasopharynx, oropharynx, and laryngopharynx in detail. Right now, to define pharynx, you have to write, or you will define pharynx as a wide muscular tube which is situated behind the nose, the mouth, and the larynx. And clinically, if we say clinically, मतलब clinically अगर बात करें तो this pharynx will form the part of upper respiratory tract or upper respiratory passage. So upper respiratory passage का part हो जाता है pharynx, और clinically जो है देखते हैं हम कि URTI यानी upper respiratory tract infections are very common nowadays. And in this crucial phase of pandemic COVID-19 which we are facing right now, COVID-19 is also affecting the respiratory tract, especially the symptoms or the pathology begins within the upper respiratory tract. So upper respiratory tract बहुत ही commonly clinically affected होता है viral और bacterial infection से, and pharynx is a part of upper respiratory tract. Now talking about the first part, that is the upper part of the pharynx, the nasopharynx, it is basically transmitting the air only. यहाँ पे देखो, this part, the nasopharynx will transmit the air only, the laryngopharynx will transmit the food only, whereas oropharynx or the middle part will is the common passage for both food and air. एयर का और फूड का दोनों का कॉमन पैसेज जो है वो ओरोफेरिंग्स है. ओके, now talking about dimensions of pharynx, if we can estimate it by looking at this figure, the length of pharynx is around 12 centimeters. 12 सेंटीमीटर की लेंथ है. एंड विथ का बात करें, सो द अपर पार्ट इज द वाइडेस्ट विच इज ऑफ अराउंड 3.5 सेंटीमीटर, एंड दिस अपर पार्ट इज नॉन कोलैप्सिबल, मतलब ये कोलैप्स नहीं कर सकता किसी भी तरह का. इसका जो डायमेंशन है, मतलब जो डायमीटर है, जो विथ है, वो चेंज नहीं होता, वो कोलैप्स नहीं करता. whereas oropharynx, talking about the middle part, so it is the narrow one, oropharynx. And talking about the lower part, the laryngopharynx, it is the narrowest of the GI tract, gastrointestinal tract का सबसे narrowest passage है apart from appendix, मतलब appendix except appendix. वर्मिफॉर्म अपेंडिक्स जो है वो सबसे narrowest part है, बट क्योंकि वो वेस्टिजियल ऑर्गन कंसिडर होता है, सो आई एम नॉट considering it as the narrowest part of the gastrointestinal tract. So right now laryngopharynx is the narrowest part of the gastrointestinal tract. Now, to define boundaries of pharynx, we will define it as superiorly, inferiorly, posteriorly, anteriorly, and on each side, on each lateral sides. So, moving from superiorly, you can see in this figure, that is the base of the skull. This is the base of the skull where I am moving my cursor. तो ये जो cursor आपको move करता दिख रहा है, this is the base of the skull, and this base of the skull having the posterior part of the body of sphenoid, and the basilar part of the occipital bone forms the superior boundary of the pharynx. Okay, now talking about the inferior boundary of the pharynx, so inferior boundary, the pharynx is in continuation of the esophagus. Yes, the pharynx is in continuation of the esophagus at the level of C6, cervical 6 vertebrae. So at the level of the 6th cervical vertebrae, and also corresponding to the lower border of the cricoid cartilage, lower border of the cricoid cartilage. So this marks the inferior boundary of the pharynx. Posteriorly, the pharynx glides very easily or moves very easily on this green colored one, प्रीवर्टिब्रल फेशिया. प्रीवर्टिब्रल फेशिया जब हम नेक स्टडी कर रहे थे तो हमने उसको डिफाइन किया हुआ है. जब डीप सर्वाइकल फेशिया पढ़ा था तो उसमें प्रीवर्टिब्रल फेशिया का बात किया था. सो बार बार किसी भी चीज को, किसी भी टॉपिक को, आई विल नॉट again repeat that topic or point because it will waste our time. So go to the video of the deep cervical fascia or the posterior triangle of the neck, and in that you will find the discussion regarding deep cervical fascia, and in that you will find the pretracheal fascia. So this, the green colored one, this is the pretracheal fascia, and on this pretracheal fascia the pharynx moves easily, and this pretracheal fascia forms the posterior boundary of the pharynx. Now anteriorly the anterior wall of the pharynx is incomplete. Anteriorly it communicates with the nasal cavity, superiorly in the middle part it communicates with the oral cavity, and in the lower part it communicates with the laryngeal cavity. So as you can see in this figure, and the anterior wall of the pharynx or the anterior boundary is incomplete. Now on each side, talking on each side, which is not visible in this figure, only some structures can be traced out on each side of the pharynx. On each side the pharynx is attached to the, first of all, the medial pterygoid plate, which is not visible here, the medial pterygoid plate. Then we have the pterygomandibular raphe. Then we have the mandible. Okay, we have the mandible here. Then after mandible we will have the tongue. This is the tongue. Okay, the pharyngeal part of the tongue you can see. So this is the tongue, and the hyoid bone, the hyoid bone, and the thyroid and the cricoid cartilage, the thyroid and the cricoid cartilage. So these structures bound the pharynx on each side, and apart from this, the pharynx on each side will communicate with the middle ear cavity, the middle ear cavity or the tubal opening you can say. So on each side we have the tubal opening or the middle ear cavity. Or you can say the auditory opening also, it can be labeled as auditory opening also. So on each side we have this one opening, and apart from this we have the styloid process and the muscles attached to it on each side, and the some vessels which are not here in this figure, the common carotid artery, the internal and the external carotid artery, and some cranial nerves related to it. So these all will form the boundaries of the pharynx. Now, parts of pharynx. So as I have already told you that the pharynx is divided into three parts. The superior one, which is in continuation of the nasal cavity, that is called as nasopharynx. The part which is in front of the oral cavity or behind the oral cavity, that is called as oropharynx, and the part which is in which is behind the larynx is called as laryngopharynx or the hypopharynx. Now, the talking about the first part, the upper part, the uppermost part of the pharynx, which is called as the nasopharynx. So this nasopharynx is situated behind the nose. Yes, you can see this is nose. So this upper part, this is the nasopharynx part, and this nasopharynx part is till the level of the lower border of this soft palate. So this is soft palate, and this is the lower border of soft palate. So till lower border of soft palate, this part is the nasopharynx. This nasopharynx बेसिकली रिजेंबल्स नोज स्ट्रक्चरली एज वेल एज फंक्शनली, और ये दोनों ये नोज की तरह ही है स्ट्रक्चरली भी और फंक्शनली भी. एंड फंक्शंस जो हैं, तो जैसे कि नोज का फंक्शन, मेन फंक्शन जो है वो रेस्पिरेटरी फंक्शन है. सो बेसिकली नो फूड विल एंटर इन द नेजल कैविटी एंड ओनली एयर विल पास थ्रू इट. एंड देन टॉकिंग अबाउट द वॉल्स ऑफ द नोज, we will discuss about lateral wall of nose and nasal septum in detail in nose, but very briefly, if we want to know about the nose, so the walls of the nose are very rigid and non-collapsible. So the air passage is kept patent due to this unique character of the structure of wall of nose. Now there are some structures or some important points which you will, or structures, important structures which you will see or trace in this nasopharynx. The wall of the nasopharynx are basically formed by the pharyngobasilar fascia. When we'll discuss the structure of pharynx, you will come to know about pharyngobasilar fascia. So this pharyngobasilar fascia, this the wall of nasopharynx will be formed by this pharyngobasilar fascia, and anteriorly this nasopharynx is in communication with the nasal cavity through the posterior nasal apertures. So through posterior nasal apertures, यहाँ posterior nasal apertures हैं, उनसे उनके थ्रू ये nasal cavity से contact में रहता है nasopharynx. And along with this, you inferiorly, talking about inferiorly in, so this portion where I'm moving my cursor, this is called as the nasopharyngeal isthmus. Isthmus, what is isthmus? Isthmus is basically an opening which is bounded by, this isthmus is bounded by the lower border of the soft palate and the posterior wall of the pharynx. Okay, so this is the posterior wall of the pharynx, this is the lower border of the soft palate, and this opening which is bounded by these and is formed by the Passavant's ridge. I have already discussed in my previous video lecture about Passavant's ridge in detail. So this opening, this aperture is called as nasopharyngeal isthmus, and through this nasopharyngeal isthmus, the nasopharynx is in continuation or is in communication with the oropharynx. Okay. Now the lateral wall, talking about the lateral wall of this nasopharynx, it has a pharyngeal opening of the auditory tube, this one, or the Eustachian tube. So this is the pharyngeal opening of the Eustachian tube, which is at the level of the inferior conchae. This is the inferior conchae. I'll I'll talk to you all about inferior conchaes or the conchaes and the metastasis of nose in detail in the video lecture of nose. So this is inferior conchae, and behind this inferior conchae, at the level of this inferior conchae, around 1.2 centimeters behind this inferior conchae, this Eustachian tube orifice or the auditory tube opening or the pharyngeal opening of the auditory tube is there. Now, in the lecture of in the previous lecture of hard and soft palate and soft palate, I have discussed about the levator vellae palatini muscle. So the levator vellae palatini muscle, when it enters this soft palate, the levator vellae palatini muscle, when it enters the soft palate, it basically raises a fold. Okay, it raises a fold of mucous membrane. So when it enters, it raises a fold of mucous membrane here, and this fold of mucous membrane just just below the tubal opening, this is the tubal opening, and just below this tubal opening, the fold of mucous membrane uh, which is formed by the levator vellae palatini muscle is called as the pharyngeal recess or the fossa of Rosenmuller. Okay, the pharyngeal recess or the fossa of Rosenmuller, and within this fossa of Rosenmuller, within this pharyngeal recess, there is nasopharyngeal tonsils. This nasopharyngeal tonsil is nothing but a lymphoid tissue. This nasopharyngeal tonsil is the lymphoid tissue which is found in the fossa of Rosenmuller, or you can say which is found opposite to the posterior body of the sphenoid bone. This is the body of the sphenoid bone, and posterior to it, this lymphoid tissue, this collection of lymphoid tissue is called as nasopharyngeal tonsils or the pharyngeal tonsils also. So it can be called as pharyngeal tonsil or the nasopharyngeal tonsils. And this, the pathological term or the name of this nasopharyngeal tonsil is एडेनॉइड्स। एडेनॉइड्स बहुत बार नाम सुना होगा कॉमनली बच्चों में। तो एडेनॉइड्स जो नाम है वो आपने सुना होगा, नेजोफेरेंजियल टॉन्सिल्स को एडेनॉइड्स कहते हैं। जब ये इन्फ्लेम्ड हो जाता है तो नेजल ब्रीदिंग जो है वो टोटली इम्पॉसिबल कर देता है। आप यहाँ फिगर से समझ सकते हो कि अगर ये लिम्फोइड फॉलिकल इन्फ्लेम्ड हो जाता है, साइज में जो है वो एनलार्ज हो जाता है, इट विल ब्लॉक द नेजोफेरिंग्स or it will also block the posterior apertures of the nose or the nasal cavity, leading to the hindrance of the nasal breathing. Okay, so nasal breathing बहुत मुश्किल हो जाती है अगर ये एडेनॉइड्स बढ़ जाते हैं। So now talking about the middle part, the oropharynx. So oropharynx is the middle part of the pharynx which is situated behind the oral cavity. Okay, so oropharynx, the middle part of the pharynx which is situated behind the oral cavity, and above it communicates with the nasopharynx through this nasopharyngeal isthmus, and below uh, in below, first of all, we can say below it communicates with the esophagus. Okay, below it communicates with the esophagus at the level of upper border of the epiglottis. So this is the upper border, this is the epiglottis, and this is the upper border of epiglottis. So till upper border of epiglottis, this hole is the oropharynx, and it communicate below it communicates with the uh, esophagus, and in the middle part of this oropharynx is in communication with the oral cavity through this oropharyngeal isthmus. Okay, the oropharyngeal isthmus or the isthmus of the fauces. Now behind or the posterior support of the oropharynx is with the uh, uh, the vertebra. The first vertebra is the atlas, then the axis. So behind, the oropharynx is supported from the back by the body of the axis vertebrae and the upper part of the third cervical vertebrae. Okay, so body of the axis vertebrae and the upper part of the third cervical vertebrae supports the oropharynx from behind, and lateral wall of the oropharynx represents the palatine tonsil on each side. Okay, so laterally, the lateral wall of this oropharynx has the palatine tonsils on each side, and these palatine tonsils, I will discuss this palatine tonsil in detail in this video lecture in forthcoming slides. Now, this palatine tonsils is situated in the tonsillar fossa. This is the tonsillar fossa in which the palatine tonsils resides, and this fossa, as we have already discussed in the soft palate, is bounded anteriorly by the palatoglossal arch having palatoglossal muscle, and posteriorly by the palatopharyngeal arch having palatopharyngeus muscle. Okay, the wall of this oropharynx, the wall of the oropharynx is formed posteriorly by the constrictors, the superior, middle, and inferior constrictors of the pharynx. Now, the last part, the talking about the laryngeal part or the laryngopharynx or the hypopharynx. So the lower part is the of the pharynx is called as laryngopharynx or the hypopharynx, which is situated behind the larynx. This is larynx and it is situated behind the larynx. It is extending from the upper border of the epiglottis. It is extending from the upper border of the epiglottis to the lower border of the cricoid cartilage. यहाँ इस फिगर में cricoid cartilage दिख रहा है. So till the lower border of the cricoid cartilage, this is the cricoid cartilage. Yes, you can trace it. This is the cricoid cartilage. So till the lower border of the cricoid cartilage, this hypopharynx, the lower border of the hypopharynx or laryngopharynx extends. So the hypopharynx is extending from the upper border of the epiglottis till lower border of the cricoid cartilage. The anterior wall of this hypopharynx, this this has an inlet of the larynx. Okay, you can see the inlet of the larynx and the posterior surface of the cricoid cartilage. So the posterior surface of the cricoid cartilage, as well as arytenoid cartilage too, which is not showing in figure. Now, talking about the posterior wall of the hypopharynx. So posterior wall of hypopharynx is supported mainly by the fourth and the fifth cervical vertebrae, and partly by the third and the sixth cervical vertebrae. Okay, so fourth and fifth cervical vertebrae will mainly support the posterior wall of the hypopharynx or laryngopharynx, and partially it is supported by the third and the sixth cervical vertebrae. In this region, the posterior wall of the pharynx, in this region of the posterior wall of the pharynx, it is basically formed by, again, by the three constrictors, the superior, middle and inferior constrictor of the pharynx. These are the constrictor muscles of the pharynx. Okay. Now, what is Waldeus ring? Waldeus lymphatic ring or Waldeus ring, talking about the oropharyngeal isthmus. This is the oropharyngeal isthmus where the palatine tonsil lodges. So, in relation to this oropharyngeal isthmus, there are several aggregations of the lymphoid follicles, okay, or lymphoid tissues, which constitutes the Waldeus ring. इस फिगर में देखो ज़्यादा better दिखेगा. So, certain lymphoid tissues aggregating in relation to the oropharyngeal isthmus is called as, or is constituting the Waldeus lymphatic ring. The most important lymphoid tissue out of all in this Waldeus lymphatic ring are the palatine tonsils, the green one, the palatine tonsils. Okay, so the palatine tonsils are the most important lymphoid aggregation, which is forming the Waldeus lymphatic ring. And along with this, along with the palatine tonsils, below this palatine tonsil we'll have the lingual tonsils, and above it we have the tubal tonsils and the adenoids, okay, the nasopharyngeal tonsil or the adenoids, the tubal tonsils, and below the palatine tonsils we have the lingual tonsils, and all these lymphoid aggregations or tissues will constitute the Waldeus lymphatic ring. Now we'll start with the palatine tonsils in detail. So what are palatine tonsils? The palatine tonsils, as I have already discussed, these are the tonsillar fossa, okay, and this triangular space. So this tonsillar fossa is basically occupied by these lymphoid tissues called as palatine tonsils or simply tonsils. And this tonsillar fossa is between the two muscles, the palatoglossus and the palatopharyngeus. So the palatoglossal, the anteriorly, this fossa is anteriorly bounded anteriorly by the palatoglossal arch and posteriorly by the palatopharyngeal arch. Now, talking about the shape and size of this tonsils, so you can see in this figure that these tonsils are basically almond shaped lymphoid tissues, and uh, features is more defined in this figure. So यहाँ पे देखते हैं, ज़्यादा बेटर समझ में आएगा. तो देखो almond shaped यहाँ दिख रहा है कि almond shaped tissue है tonsils जो है lymphoid tissue, and it has two surfaces, the medial one, yes, it is labeled as medial surface, this one having the crypts. So the medial one and the lateral one, two surfaces, two poles, the upper pole and the lower pole, and two borders, the anterior border and the posterior border, which is not visible in this figure as it is a sagittal section, it is not visible. So the medial surface and the lateral surface, two surfaces, two borders, the anterior one and the posterior one, and two poles, the upper pole and the lower pole. This is all about the external features of tonsils. Now talking about the medial surface, as you can see that the medial surface is covered by stratified squamous epithelium, which is not visible because it is histologically it can be visible, so you cannot trace the squamous epithelial stratified squamous epithelium here, but you can trace the crypts here. There are 12 to 15 crypts formed in the medial surface, and the largest one, the largest crypt is called as intratonsillar cleft. So the largest crypt out of these 12 to 15 crypts, the largest one is called as intratonsillar cleft. Now talking about the lateral surface, coming back to the lateral surface. So lateral surface is covered by a sheet of fascia which is forming the semilunar capsule of the tonsils. So this sheet of fascia is basically originating from the pharyngobasilar fascia. This pharyngobasilar fascia gives rise to this capsule of the tonsils, and it is loosely attached to the muscles. It is loosely attached to the muscular wall of the pharynx, but it is very firmly attached. It is very firmly attached or adherent to the sides of the tongue. Anterolaterally अगर बात करें देखो, so anterolaterally or you can say anteroinferiorly, this capsule of the tonsils is firmly attached to the tongue, making this tonsils इन प्लेस ड्यूरिंग swallowing. सो जब भी टॉन्सिल्स जो है, जब हम swallow करते हैं, तो टॉन्सिल्स का सिचुएशन, टॉन्सिल्स जो है वो अपनी जगह पे रहे, ये जो है वो मार्क करता है ये कैप्सूल, जो कि बहुत ही फॉर्मली अटैच्ड होता है एंटेरो इंफीरियरली टू द टंग्स, sorry, to the tongue. And talking about the paratonsillar vein, this is the paratonsillar vein. So this paratonsillar vein also crosses, it will descend into the palate, and it will enter the loose areolar tissue of the lateral surface of this capsule and crosses the tonsils before piercing the wall of the pharynx. Okay, so this paratonsillar vein is found just behind the capsule, which crosses the tonsils before entering the wall of the pharynx. The tonsillar artery, the tonsillar artery, which is a part, which is a branch of facial artery, it enters the tonsil. It enters the tonsil, as you can see, by piercing the buccopharyngeal fascia, the muscular layer, and the pharyngobasilar fascia, and the capsule of the tonsils to enter the tonsil. So the tonsillar artery, it basically enters the tonsil by piercing the superior constrictors and the firm attachment of this capsule just behind the tonsils. Okay, now there is a term called known as the bed of the tonsil or tonsil bed. So the bed of the tonsil is formed from within outwards. If we talk from within outwards, the bed of the tonsil will be formed by the pharyngobasilar fascia. This is the tonsil, and the bed will be formed by the pharyngobasilar fascia. Then secondly, we have above we have the superior constrictor muscle, the superior constrictor muscle. Then we have the buccopharyngeal fascia. Okay, then in the lower part, coming on the lower part of the bed of the tonsils, we have the styloglossus muscle and the glossopharyngeal nerve. So these structure will form the bed of the tonsil on which the tonsils rest. Now talking about anterior border, which is not visible in this figure. So anterior border is related to the palatoglossal arch. Okay, anterior border is in relation to the palatoglossal arch because palatoglossal arch bounds the tonsillar fossa anteriorly, and posterior border similarly is in relation to the palatopharyngeal arch. Okay, so palatoglossal arch along with the muscle is in relation to the anterior border, and palatoglossal arch along with its muscle is in relation to the posterior border of the tonsils. The upper pole, as you can see in this figure, this is the upper pole which is in relation to the soft palate, and the lower pole which is in relation to the tongue. Okay, now talking about this intratonsillar cleft, so this is the largest cleft of the tonsil. Yes, and sometimes it is wrongly named as supratonsillar cleft, but ये गलत है. Supratonsillar cleft अगर नहीं पढ़ते हो तो वो wrong labeling है. It is called as intratonsillar cleft, not supra. Supra means above the tonsils, but it is not situated. It is not situated above the tonsil, but it is situated within the tonsils. So intratonsillar cleft is the right name of the largest crypt found in the medial surface of the tonsils. Now talking about arterial supply of the tonsil, so the main source of the arterial supply of tonsils are the tonsillar branches of the facial artery. Okay, so the facial artery giving the tonsillar branches are the main supply or the main source of the arterial blood of tonsils for tonsils. And additional sources, there are some additional sources also, as you can trace in this figure. The maxillary artery giving branch named as greater palatine artery, which is an additional branch or additional source of the arterial blood, the greater palatine artery, branch of maxillary artery. Then we have the ascending pharyngeal branch. Okay, the ascending pharyngeal artery, the ascending palatine artery also. The ascending palatine artery is giving branches to the tonsil. The lingual artery, basically the dorsal lingual branches, the dorsal lingual branches of the lingual artery also supplies it. And the greater palatine artery, as I have already told you. So greater palatine, the ascending pharyngeal, which is branch of external carotid artery, the ascending palatine artery, and the dorsal lingual branch of the lingual artery. This is the dorsal lingual branch. Okay, so this dorsal lingual branch of the lingual artery. These are the additional sources of arterial blood of tonsils. The main source are the tonsillar branches of the facial artery. Venous drainage will be into the palatine, pharyngeal, and the facial veins. So the external palatine, the palatine veins or external palatine vein, the facial vein, and the pharyngeal vein, which is not visible here in this figure. So these veins will drain the venous blood from the palatine tonsils. Nerve supply is through the glossopharyngeal nerve, the ninth cranial nerve, that is the glossopharyngeal nerve. This is the glossopharyngeal nerve, and you can trace in this figure these are the palatine tonsils, and this is the branch, the nerve to palatine tonsil is a branch of the glossopharyngeal nerve. So the glossopharyngeal nerve and the some fibers are also supplied by the lesser palatine nerve. So the glossopharyngeal nerve has supplies the main nerve supply to the palatine tonsil, whereas lesser palatine nerves also supply some fibers to the palatine tonsils. Lymphatics mainly drain into the jugulo-digastric or the upper jugular lymph node. So this is the jugulo-digastric or upper jugular lymph node in which the lymph of palatine tonsils will drain. Now, structure of pharynx. So structurally, as we have already discussed about the muscular coat muscles of the pharynx very briefly in previous slides, and we have already discussed about pharyngobasilar fascia. Now to define the structure of pharynx from within outwards, मतलब अगर हम बाहर से अंदर जाते हैं, तो बात करते हैं बाहर से अंदर जाने के वक्त जो अगर layers or structure of pharynx का, so outwards it is covered by the mucosa. The outermost covering is the mucosa. Number trace करो, the one, the outermost covering is the mucosa. Okay, then we have the submucosa. Okay, this is the submucosa. Then we have the pharyngobasilar fascia. So this pharyngobasilar fascia or the pharyngeal aponeurosis, this is a fibrous sheath. This fibrous sheath is internal to the pharyngeal muscles. ये जो pharyngeal muscles हैं, तो इनके मतलब यहाँ पे pharyngeal muscles हैं, उसके internal एक fibrous sheath है. और ये मैं इनकी बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ, ये फिगर में इसको pharyngeal muscles मत समझना. These are the muscular coat of the pharynx. These muscles, these constrictor will form the muscular coat of the pharynx. So यहाँ ये जो मैं pharyngobasilar fascia की बात कर रहा था, there is a sheath which is interior to the muscles, and it is thickest in the upper part. As you can see, it is thickest in the upper part, which fills the gap between the base of the skull and the upper border of the superior constrictor. So this is the superior constrictor muscle, this is the upper border of superior constrictor, and between this you can see the pharyngobasilar fascia is very thick. Okay, and जैसे जैसे ये नीचे देखो मूव कर रहा है, then this pharyngobasilar fascia is becoming thin, and after this pharyngobasilar fascia we have the muscular coat, which is made up of three constrictors. Okay, the three circular constrictors, three circular layer of constrictors muscle, and three longitudinal muscles. So the three constrictors which is labeled here in this figure are the superior constrictor, the middle constrictor, and the inferior constrictor. Okay, whereas the inner longitudinal layer, which is not marked or shown in this figure, these longitudinal layer of muscle is made up of stylopharyngeus and apart from stylopharyngeus we have the salpingopharyngeus and the palatopharyngeus. So these three muscles, the muscles of this pharynx, will be discussed in detail in next video lecture. So very briefly, you must know that the muscular coat has the three circular layers of the constrictors of pharynx and three longitudinal layers comprising of stylopharyngeus, salpingopharyngeus, and the palatopharyngeus muscle. And last but not the least, we have the buccopharyngeal fascia, and this buccopharyngeal fascia covers the outer surface of the constrictors. Here देखो, this is the outer surface and this is the inner surface. So this buccopharyngeal fascia covers the outer surface of the constrictors of pharynx, and this in between this buccopharyngeal fascia and the muscular cord, there is venous plexus. There is pharyngeal plexus of veins and the nerve. So pharyngeal plexus of veins और nerves जो हैं वो इन्हीं के बीच में, मस्कुलर कोट और बकोफेरेंजियल फेशिया के बीच में ही जो है वो रिसाइड करेंगे. So this is all about structure of pharynx, which is from within outwards. So that is all for today. In next video lecture, we will discuss about muscles of pharynx in detail, the circular constrictors one and the longitudinal muscle. Then we'll go with the Killian dehiscence, which is a triangular area found in the course of pharynx, and we'll go with the nerve supply, arterial supply, the venous drainage, and the lymphatics of pharynx along with the clinical anatomy. Till then, stay home, stay healthy, take care. Thank you so much.